of strides that it needed to this season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody expected this team to be where we finished. I think it exceeded my expectations too. But I think there's a lot of growth on this team as a team, individually. A lot of young players grew. I think the potential for this team is very high in the next couple of years, just from the growth in this season alone. So it's gonna be an exciting year next year to see where we're at.
Ryan, what do you see as moving forward for the team to get to the final level, get to where Tampa and Colorado are? Like, what do you think are going to be the points of emphasis for the team now?
Well, I think the experience is one thing. As much as we don't like to talk about experience being a big thing, it's being in a grind in playoffs for the first time is an eye opener sometimes, and like I said, the young guys did a great job in their first experience, and now they know what it's like, and so I think they're going to bring that into next season. We're going to be more prepared, and let's see where it goes.
What does it do for the group? Not specific to the Rangers, any group, when you have a group of talented young players both up front and in the back. How does that bolster the rest of the room in a way?
Want to word that differently? What?
What kind of hope does that bring when you have that?
Well, I mean, you got young kids that are 22, 23, 24 that are playing top caliber, like a top caliber player, and when you're that young, there's a lot of room for potential, a lot of room for growth still. Guys like Phil and Laffy, Foxy's already on a different level of most players, but those guys, Key, I thought when I came here, they're really good players, and at the end of the year, I thought they were great players, and just to take those steps in one season is huge, because they're going to get better in the off season. They're going to, when you're young, you're still going to put on some pounds. You're going to get bigger. You're going to get faster. You got to work at, and they're going to come back next year, and they're going to be that much better already, and they're going to grow during the season again, and we're going to bring that back in the playoffs.
Justin, what such a young group on D to go this far? What was your experience like with them?
It was impressive. The maturity, the poise, those guys have, and the big moments. To be able to do that, at their ages is impressive. And like Revo said, with the age of these guys and the ability they have, there's even more growth there, which you can't say from a lot of teams that maybe older. Some might be towards the end of their window. These guys are young and good, and that's huge for this organization going forward.
Did you surprise yourself at how much left side you could pick up in such a short space of time?
Yeah, that was a little interesting. I haven't played over there quite some time, but yeah, I kind of settled in. Still, some growing pains over there, but it was a different experience.
What's your mindset now, Justin? Like, what do you think your future is right now?
Right now, you just, at this point, thankful I got to have this run, and now, we got a month till free agency, and, kind of get older, you're just trying to still prove that you can play in this league, and I think I did enough to prove that I still have worth here to play at this level. If teams are interested, that's a whole other story. So, it's kind of weird when you kind of get a little bit older in the league.
Ryan, I think you said something earlier in the season, something to the effect of like the Ryan Reaves a couple of years ago may have handled the scratches differently. So I guess just how was that for you the last couple of games there, and also just in general, how comfortable are you with your role on this team?
I'm comfortable with my role. It always sucks getting scratched, especially in the playoffs and in big games like that. But I'm honest with myself. I was shit in Game 4, and a game where we needed energy. I didn't bring that, and we were slipping. They were gaining a lot of momentum in that series. So a change was coming, and I kind of felt it. But I'm not going to sit there and pout and not do whatever I can for the guys off the ice. That's not a time for distraction. So yeah, I handle it easier now. I think I'm a little more honest with my game and what I do. It's never easy, but I always say it's not the guys that scratch me, so I can't bring that into the locker room.
Ryan, as one of the leaders of this team, what would you like us to know about what this team accomplished this year and what this team was all about?
Well, sorry, say again.
What would you like us to know about this team, what it accomplished this year, and what made it special?
I think it made it special because I think in everybody's eyes around the league, we overachieved. I don't think anybody had us going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm sure a lot of people didn't have us going to the playoffs. I think we surprised a lot of people, and I think next year it's not going to be a surprise anymore. It's going to be a little more pressure on our shoulders to make sure that we live up to what we are now. But it's like I said before, it's going to be an exciting season with the growth that's coming.
Ryan, at this stage, I'm sure going into off season you have routines that you like to stick to and that stuff, but are there ways that you still try to evolve your game, or is it more about sharpening the things that you're good at?
For 12 years I've been trying to find some hands, and it's just they're not coming. So I'm gonna try and I think I've talked about this before. I've tried not to just sit in the gym and get big, and I think before, when I was younger, I was fighting a lot more and a lot bigger guys. But the game's changed where I don't fight as much, and these young kids are fast, and it's harder to keep up with them. So I think a lot of my summers now just trying to get as fast as I can and take care of the body. I'm 35 now, and as much as I don't want to admit it, 35 is I feel it.
Say that, I'm turning 35 in a couple days.
Well, you're gonna start feeling it too. I'm sure Bronner can agree. It's you never think you're gonna fall apart like you do when you hit this age, but it's just important to take care of your body. And there's some things you got to tweak. I'm not going in there to be a bodybuilder. I got to keep up with these young guys now, and that's the only way I'm going to stay relevant. If guys are blowing by me every game, I'm not going to be in the lineup ever. So a lot of it has to be explosiveness and just speed.
How did the Shesty release us?
I did kind of a version like that in Vegas, except I didn't yell it. It was just kind of a different version. And then at the beginning of the year, I asked Stromer if he wanted to release the boys, and he looked at me like he didn't know what I was talking about, which I don't know how he would. And so I yelled it, and the boys loved it and kept going.
Who did it in Vegas?
I would yell somebody's name, and they would say it, but those guys kept. One guy was in another lineup, and then one guy got hurt a lot, so it's just a mix of a lot of guys.
All right. Is that flower releases?
No, it wasn't. It was never flower release. It was just a release us, and then I would yell at flower, and then we would go. Yeah, we can't do the same thing on different teams.
It's gotta be a little
Yeah,
different,
exactly.
a little unique.